Part 4, within relationships. What do you do when you say or do something and you truly believe that this time you are right? You believe the other person is apparently overreacting, or maybe what you said was a trigger, and really they're flipping out about something that happened when they were a child. And as we mentioned in part 3, there's too many people with PTSD, more than we could ever imagine. How do you deal with it? I'll tell you how not to deal with it. Don't get logical. Don't start arguing. Don't start working through with your friend, with your spouse, with your employee, with your employer. You're going to get more frustrated. If you notice, and usually you do, because it's going on, the same thing is happening for weeks and months, and sadly too many times years till it actually gets to you. So you know there's a pattern over here, that you could do something that's actually sometimes could be nice. I've seen an extreme, by the way. I've seen an extreme of a story. I still might not believe, but I've seen it happen. I've heard it happen firsthand, where someone would compliment their wife for making dinner, and the wife got upset that they ever said that. And then the husband would say, "Why are you upset?" And the wife seriously said, "If you're complimenting today for dinner, that means all the other dinners are terrible." Although he always complimented for all the dinners that she made, because he was always very, very grateful. So there are times that you see where people are actually kind to each other, but if someone is living in pain, they will tell you what you did was wrong. So as I said, do not try to explain. If someone is suffering from PTSD, there's the only thing you could do is in a very loving way to do the following. And that's where it ends and you're free. Well, I hope. What you discuss with that person, maybe not even right then and there after they told you what you did hurt them. You might want to apologize temporarily. I'm not sure about that one. But then maybe a few hours later, a day later, you say, "You know what, when I do something wrong, I apologize. And I believe that's the right thing to do. It might be hard for me, but I do it. What happened yesterday? As I said, I do apologize, but with this one, I don't think I was wrong. Now, you truly believe I was wrong, could be you're right. The only way we could go about it to resolve it, because I don't want to hurt you again, and I don't want to hurt myself. If I shut my mouth and I stifle my words, my feelings, my thoughts, and I just can't be myself, that's not a relationship. That's not a friendship. I can't have you working in my factory if I just can't tell you something very, very simple. And what I want to do is, I don't want to hurt you. I don't want to hurt myself as well. And therefore, the best thing is, let's meet with a third person. This concept of meeting with a third person, therapist, life coach, rabbi, priest, whoever it might be, someone knowledgeable, would be very, very grateful. So for example, if you do go to the third person will listen to both of you, and then spend some private time with that person that accused you of you being wrong, and say, "By the way, I totally see how your feelings were hurt. But his words or his actions was actually not bad." And sometimes we need a little bit of therapy. But if you ever try to get logical about it and explain things again and again, you're actually going to frustrate the other person and frustrate yourself even more. And the only way this could be resolved is with a third person or with a professional, so you do not have to go through this tough time, because you know, if you were just with someone and they really freaked out about something, it happens again and again. Then I thought I was done, but something just entered my mind now. Then there's one other situation, is when there's various temperaments. So what works for one person doesn't work for the other person. And if you study the 4 temperaments, the 4 types of people, where I don't want to get into them, but very briefly, one person, let's use a simple example. One adult loves validation and compliments. They just love it. They feel loved. It's one of the 5 love languages. They just love it. Another adult, if you go on a bit longer, or if you don't keep that compliment brief, they'll tell you, what am I, a baby? What, you're going to give me now a star? Or you're going to give me a candy? And you wonder, what the heck did I do? I just complimented them. So there's times that a person doesn't suffer from PTSD. It's just a very different type of temperament. And if you study the temperaments, you will have such an easier time relating to people. Like, I know from my own children, from my wife and children, each and every one, I have a different way of speaking based on their temperament. Not that I'm perfect on it, because naturally I will use my own language. But there's one child I'm free, because I could just be me. With the other child, I have to go into logic. With the other child, I have to use emotion. The other child, a bit more balanced. And each and every human being is very different. With my colleagues at work as well. With one person, I have to say good morning, and I'll be very expressive, and that's what he loves. The other person, if I will do the exact same thing to him, he's going to say, would you just get out of here? He just doesn't like it. He likes very brief, good morning, and that's it. So it's, or someone is reacting to old stuff and that's a trigger, or B, you're dealing with an individual that has a very different temperament, and what works for them does not work for you, so you don't need a third person. You just need to tap in and study the 4 temperaments and find out what works for who. As well, the same thing with the 5 love languages. When expressing love, what works for you might not work for someone else. Have yourself a wonderful and delightful day, and enjoy the journey of relationships and finding out all the secrets of how to make them work. Bye now.